Hello and welcome back to the Talkin' Ball podcast. We are here with episode 13. My name is Jack and I am joined by
Keaton.
Keaton. How are you?
Doing great. Had a good time watching that game that was played tonight. Not sure if you saw it.
I was there. I actually just got back from the game, so while we didn't get to see the main guys for the entire game, it was still fun to see them for part of it and fun to be back in the Paycom Center. I missed being there and just being at a Thunder game, so that was a good time. Yeah, I mean, we can today we're just going to briefly touch on the game. I mean, there's not as much to go in depth about as probably the other day, just because the other day was the first time we had seen most of these play or any of these players play since May, and talking about what we saw them developing in and maybe what we saw from the new guys. But today we just have probably shorter thoughts on the game in general and what we saw from the guys. And then we'll touch briefly on this GM survey that came out. Some Thunder love on there, and then we'll wrap it up with player rankings. But um, my first thoughts on the game today was first of all, it was really fun to get the first glimpse at our full squad. Um, Obviously, I mean, Jay, Will, and Kinrich were hurt, but I'm more talking like maybe a potential starting lineup. The main guys that could start at least played tonight. So, because Shea and Lou rested the other night, so it was fun to see that lineup that started. Shea, Caruso, Dort, Dub, and Chet. Um, Maybe that's the lineup we'll go with during the season. Maybe that's just us trying the first of several lineups we want to see throughout the preseason and see which one we want to go with. I don't know. But there were a lot of fun lineups that we rolled out there today. We saw obviously that starting lineup, and then Hartenstein came in for Dub, so it was fun to see Hartenstein with that lineup. I mean, several times just watching those lineups, um, I was just thinking like every single player on this court right now is like an elite defender, and like who is scoring on this team? And the Rockets sure struggled to score on that group of players. What did you think out of those lineups that we saw tonight?
Yeah, the starting lineup I thought was incredible. And I think the plus or minus uh, it highlights that. So, what stands out to me is how impactful Dort was in his minutes, plus 19 and 18 minutes. That was really good tonight. But just what I realized, which is, what we kind of figure going into the season, is just Dort and Caruso on the same lineup is almost unfair.
Right.
Like they are closing out every time the ball gets kicked, and they have such steady feet is what I noticed. Like they can crash out and then stop it on a dime. And so I really like their defensive tandem there. And another thing that I liked is just it felt like when Hartenstein came into the game, we really ran the offense through him. It seemed like he was getting the ball at the top of the key almost every possession and doing dribble handoffs or pick and rolls. I mean, we even saw him and Queso connect on a alley-oop, which was, I think, one of the more exciting plays of the game. So I really liked Hartenstein mixing into that lineup. Again, he really stuffed the stat sheet tonight. 6 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block again. Um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, so I mean that goes in with the lineup stuff about what I thought about the lineups. But what I want to talk about more so is uh, this is our first look at Shea and Dort this preseason, and I could really tell a difference between the way that Shea was shooting it this tonight versus last season. It seemed like he was more confident with his dribble pull-ups from three. Uh, Tonight Shea shot 2 for 2 from three, and those were both kind of pull-up in your face type jump shots, and I
Pretty fast
really,
break, I think, on one of them.
yeah, and so I really liked his confidence there, and I think that if he can get that going on a consistent basis, uh, that's just another weapon that we have in our arsenal. Finally, about Shea, in his 19 minutes, he had 6 assists. And I think that that's a result of just better players around him. I mean, all these players are coming back better after the offseason, and it was just really awesome to see that in the first half. The last thing I'll touch on, um, I'd like to see Joe start to shoot the ball better. He was 2 for 12 tonight, 1 for 8 from three. Um, it's preseason, he's letting them fly. So I think he'll start to connect, but um, certainly nothing positive there that I can think of right now. I thought Wiggins had a good bounce back game. He was very efficient. But yeah, what are some guys that you thought that stood out to you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Joe didn't have a great game, but you could tell like he was frustrated with himself, and some of those shots just they look good and they just didn't go in. And he knows he's better than that, and so I don't think that's obviously not a consistent thing with him. But um, yeah, with you touched on Shea. The thing about him tonight, like sometimes you can tell like Shea's trying to go out there and get his points, like get his 30 or whatever. Tonight it didn't even feel like that. Like it felt like he wasn't even like trying to score all that much, but he still just like managed to get 15 in 18 minutes on 7 shots. Like he shot 5 of 7. And with him, Chet and J-Dub, like it seemed more than ever they're just like so willing to let the three ball fly. And that's probably been a big emphasis of training camp. Like you have the green light, like go for it. And it's cool to see them comfortable just letting it fly. I don't think Chet had the best game. He kind of looked a little sluggish out there. Um, I don't know if he is dealing with because he left early last game. I don't know if he's dealing with maybe a little soreness or something, but um, he looked kind of tired, maybe. I don't know, but um, yeah, just from in person watching, it seemed like there were a few moments that looked like our offense wasn't as like flowing as it was the other night. Um, but the part that encouraged me was despite the offense not looking as good as I know it can be, we still put up 60 in the first half with our main guys playing, and our defense was so encouraging tonight. I think that was the main thing that stood out to me. Um, Obviously, like with 6, 7 elite defenders, like 7 of the best defenders in the league, um, and the guys that started tonight, plus Hartenstein and Wallace, like it was just crazy that there were a lot of times where every guy on the court was an elite defender. So it was just cool to see that all come together and get the first look at all those really good defensive lineups. And that's how we managed to build such a lead because I don't think that was the best offensive game we'll ever have. Um, but it was really encouraging that despite not having the best offensive game, we were still able to be up 60 to 49 at halftime just because of the sheer talent on the team and the defensive ability of all those players. Now, like, how good can we be once we have so much more experience playing together and once we have it all figured out on offense? Like, the sky's the limit, I feel like. And even as the game went on a little bit, and like towards the end of the first half, things were looking better. And I think if we played our main guys the whole game, I think we would have beat them by 30 or something like that. So, um, that being said, we didn't play our top 6 guys in the second half at all. And it was a lot of the rookies and Ousmane Dieng and Flagler, guys like that. Um, the rookies had like Dylan Jones and AJ Mitchell. They didn't have as good of a game tonight as they did the other day. Um, they weren't as disciplined, and um, some of that's just because they're rookies. Like the other night, we were like, "Oh my gosh, they look so comfortable and confident and skilled and efficient and all this stuff." But they still look fine tonight. It's just they didn't have their best game. They didn't look like elite NBA players yet, like they might have the other night. But I mean, they're rookies. We can't. They don't have it all together yet. I still think AJ Mitchell did fine, and Dylan Jones had some great hustle plays. He fouled out and he didn't even play in the first half. Um, so I like the aggression there. Maybe he's got to calm down a little bit on make some smarter plays there, but I still like getting them some experience, and I liked what I saw from them, even though they may not have done as well as they did the other night. But I mean, the other night they had 19 and 18 on efficient shooting, so we can't expect that all the time.
Yeah.
Um, but kind of crazy that I mean, ended up losing that game. I mean, it didn't really matter, but um, we kind of let the Rockets get back into it because most of the third quarter, the Rockets were still playing their guys and we weren't. So they kind of got back into it. Um, and then there at the end, they missed the free throw intentionally and had a crazy, who was that? Someone
McVay.
McVay.
Yeah, Jack McVay.
Shout out to Jack McVay. That was a crazy shot. He rebounded the missed free throw and put in the midi fadeaway at the buzzer to send it to overtime. And I was there at the game. I was like, ooh, kind of was not wanting to watch overtime. So once we got down by 5 or 6 in overtime, we headed out. But um, yeah, do you have any other thoughts on anything you saw tonight from anybody?
Yeah, I forgot to touch on Chet. I thought in his 17 minutes obviously he didn't shoot it the way he would want to, but I thought he was really aggressive tonight, getting to the line. He shot 8 free throws in the first quarter, which was pretty incredible from him. So, um, I think the theme from these first two games is we're getting a more aggressive, assertive Chet with the ball in his hands. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and that's going to come with some growing pains a little bit. Um, I think he's shooting a few, uh, overly contested layups that aren't falling just because they're smothered right now. But as a result, he's getting to the line quite a bit. So I think that will start to even itself out. Another guy that I liked his aggression was Usman. We talked about it last pod, said that, we want him to just get some driving layups in there, like just see the ball go through the hoop. And, he actually only made one 2-pointer tonight, but he did make 2 3-pointers. So it was good for him to kind of impact the game in that way. That's kind of my only thoughts about the Thunder tonight for this preseason game. I have a few thoughts about some Rockets, and I liked what I saw from Reed Shepherd. He seemed to, be a bucket. Anytime he gets an open shot, it seems like it's going, not even touching the rim, it's going straight through. Um, Cam Whitmore, not awesome. He I'm kind of wondering, there was a lot of talk when he got drafted, like, oh man, he's gonna this steal the draft. And then tonight I'm kind of wondering, oh gosh, why is he still in? And it's fourth quarter. And then I look at his stat line, I'm like 2 for 10 from the field, 1 for 6 from three. I'm like, okay, there's a reason that he's still in. He needs those reps. Um, yeah, it's kind of my only
Jock
thoughts.
Landale had like 3 moving screens.
Yeah. And also to touch back on what you were talking about Dylan Jones fouling out, I feel like he was like on the wrong side of a lot of block charge calls.
Yeah.
Like he, so that's the thing that I like, and I think Mark would probably agree with that. Like, is Dylan Jones, man, like he's out there trying to take charges. Like he is doing the dirty work. And, if he's fouling out in a preseason game, who cares? Like
But,
he is showing from day one, or I guess now it's he's been there a week, but he's showing from the very get-go that he is willing to put his body on the line. He is willing to make the hustle plays. Um, two guys that come to mind when I think about drawing charges like Kenny Hustle and Jalen Williams. And so now Dylan Jones, I think, is going to add his name to the mix, and he's just going to be kind of an all-out guy that can just give you, he's kind of a Swiss Army knife. He can give you a little bit of everything. So it's kind of my final thoughts on the game. Do you have any final thoughts before we move into our GM survey talk?
um, yeah, just looking here. I mean, it wasn't the best 3-point shooting night for the Thunder. 15 of 51, um, 29%. So just like when I see things like that, I'm like, I know we're just trying a lot of different things out, and some guys just had bad shooting nights, but I don't know. It's just like I keep thinking back to like if we were able to be up by 11 at halftime with how we were playing tonight, like how much better will things be when we have it all figured out, you know? But um, any thoughts on how Jonathan Williams did tonight?
I was actually thinking about you when I saw that Jonathan Williams was put into the game. You know, he threw an inbounds pass at one point that I thought was pretty nice. I think it was the one that got tipped and then he had to rethrow it. So that was pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my only thought about Jonathan Williams.
It was a pretty cool moment that they showed Steven Adams on the Jumbotron and the crowd went crazy. That was probably the loudest we got all night, but he gave a little wave, so that was fun. Love Steve-O. I was at the game with my girlfriend, and I was telling her that Jeff Green also played for the Thunder for a good amount of time, and she was like, "Why aren't we showing him on the screen and cheering him on?" And I just said, I doubt many people that are at this game remember him. It's been a while for Jeff. Crazy that he's still in the league, but I was like, yeah, he was with us for like 5 years, and we got rid of him about 13 years ago. So
Right. For Perkins. Now maybe, just maybe, everybody in the arena is a Talking Ball podcast listener, and we haven't gotten to him on the player rankings yet, and that's why they don't know who he is.
maybe. Yeah, that's about all I got for tonight. On the game. Oh, one other thing. It was really cool when I was just watching Hartenstein get rebounds. I kept thinking, wow, we didn't have a guy that was doing that last year.
Yeah.
This will be nice. Like he was going up to get some big boy rebounds, a couple offensive ones that stood out to me. Um, yeah, they were just some of those in particular. I was like, this is going to be nice. And with Caruso, he also had a few moments. Um, like there was one time he, I think, made a mid-range shot. And there was another time he
We haven't skipped a beat.
had to finish at the rim, and he had some good defensive plays also. And there were a lot of times where I was like, Giddy was not doing this. And
No.
also just the sheer fact that like centers aren't guarding Caruso and therefore just camping out in the paint, like prohibiting us from running offense. And Caruso's not a defensive liability. He's the often opposite of that. So it's like just seeing that lineup for the first time was really cool. Just like being able to run offense, have someone guarding Caruso out there, and so it's a center's matched up with Chet. So Chet's able to take advantage of the slower center on him more than he was last year. That's why he was able to drive towards the rim so much.
Right.
And he wasn't doing that a whole lot last year. That's why we're seeing that aggression because he has the slower center matched up on him now because he's not matched up with Giddy. So much comes from that other than just the fact that like he's a better player. It benefits the whole team. Well, I don't know if he's a better player, but like he's just a better fit for us. And so much comes from that. uh,
Yeah,
on both ends of the ball. So
way better. Yeah, it's a great fit. Adding him and Hardenstein together is, I mean, it is going to do numbers. One thing I thought was cool from watching the game, I watched it from home. Um, the camera cut to Mark as Shea's taking the ball at the court, and he motions to Shea, and he goes 55. It looked like he was saying like 55 drop. So he was calling a play. Shea communicates that to the team, and then the play was Hartenstein takes it from the free throw line, turns and lobs it to a cutting Chet who gets fouled. And I thought that that was awesome for our second preseason game to have a play like that in the playbook already. We're going to see some exciting stuff from that center duo this season. And so I am very happy about that.
yeah, at one point they had a pick and roll. I was like, is this real life right now? Like two 7-footers in a two-man game right now? But yeah, fun to watch this team. Excited to watch them even more. I mean, just watching a game like tonight, I'm like, can the regular season start already?
Yeah.
I want to
Watch
see real rotations, see this team the whole time when it actually matters. So,
every preseason second half, I think. Can't the regular season just start already?
yeah. All right. You want to move on to this GM survey?
Hit me with it. Let's do this.
All right. So Keaton has intentionally tried to stay away from the GM survey in preparation for this. I've looked at all of it. Keaton's seen some of it just on Twitter and stuff, but for the most part, he's stayed away from seeing the results of this. But the reason for that is Keaton's gonna try to guess what the GM said on each of these questions before we reveal it. So thought that could be kind of fun to see if Keaton can guess most of these. And then if it's worth talking about, we can talk about them a little bit. There's some Thunder love on here, so that'll be cool to mention also. If you don't know, this is a survey they do every year where all 30 GMs of each team answer all these questions. So it's kind of cool to see their perspective of what they think about the league and a lot of things in the league. So the first section here is predictions. So they ask the GMs which team will win the 2025 NBA Finals.
So I'm
What do you
going
think?
to guess that the majority said the Celtics, probably.
Yep, 83% said the Celtics. And then the Thunder were at 13%. And then the Mavericks got 3%. So those
Wow.
were the only teams getting votes. So um now who do you think they said would be the one seed in the East?
Celtics,
Yep, 97%. Two seed,
the Knicks,
43% at the two seed. Yes. Uh Three seed?
uh, the GM's probably like the Bucks.
No.
Okay, good, because I don't either.
The Bucks got 13% for the three seed.
Okay, three seed. Oh, the 76ers.
Yes. They got 20% of the vote. Four seed?
Uh, the Bucks.
No, the Bucks got 31% of the four seed votes.
Give me the Pacers.
Nope.
Give me the Cavs.
Cavs, yes. Then five seed?
Pacers.
Nope.
Bucks.
Bucks. Six?
Pacers.
Nope.
Oh my gosh, the Magic?
Magic. Then seven.
Oh, the Pacers disrespect on here is wild, GMs.
Well,
Seven Pacers.
yes. And
Oh my
they only have
gosh.
the top seven because it looks like they just asked the GMs to rank their top four. And then based on the top four they gave, we have the top seven because they allocated like points to each of the top four. I don't know, but um, let's see. West one seed.
Thunder.
Yes, 80%.
Wow. That feels good.
Two seed.
So this is a toss up. I'm gonna go. This is interesting. I'm gonna go Timberwolves.
Yes, 40%. Three seed.
Mavericks.
Yes, 27%. Four seed?
Nuggets,
Wait, what'd you say for the three seed?
Mavericks.
Oh, that's actually wrong. Sorry.
Oh, so Nuggets there,
Yes, four seed?
Mavs at 4.
Yes. Five seed?
This is where it gets harder. I'm gonna say the GMs like the Suns.
Suns. Six seed?
Yeah, this is difficult. Pelicans.
No.
Um, give me Grizzlies.
Yes. Seven?
Uh, Pelicans.
Yes. Then there's an eight for the West because someone got a four seed vote. One four seed vote.
I'm gonna go with the Kings.
No.
Lakers,
No.
Warriors.
Yes. Someone put the Warriors fourth.
That feels a little, it feels a little stinky.
I have a feeling that might have been the Warriors GM.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was the Warriors guy that gave them the 4th seed.
This is interesting. Last year it said that they picked the Thunder to be in 10th.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Who will win the 2024-2025 MVP?
Um, Luca,
Number two,
Shea.
Shea
Wow.
got 40% of the vote. Luca got 30. And then tied for third with 7% each were Embiid, Jokic, and Tatum.
Okay.
And then there were three guys that got one vote, I think. Giannis, Anthony Edwards, and Jaylen Brown.
That was Brad Stevens.
All right. If you were starting a franchise today and could sign any player in the NBA, who would it be?
This is one of the ones that I think I saw, and it went Wemby, then Shea.
Yeah, Shea's tied for second with Jokic, with 10% each. But Wemby had 77% of the vote.
Yeah, and I didn't pay attention to it after that, so I can still go further on this if you want.
Am I guessing?
Yeah, I only saw Wemby and then Shea.
There's one more guy um, in fourth, if you want to try to guess him.
Edwards?
No.
Oh, Luca.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Which player forces opposing coaches to make the most adjustments? What do you think they said?
Jokic?
Jokic third.
Luca?
Luca. Yep. Luca, Steph, Jokic, and then Giannis and Embiid. No
I think
shit.
somebody who I think is going to be there really soon is Wembanyama.
Yeah. Okay. Which player is most likely to have a breakout season in 2024-2025?
I did see this one. J-Dub, I believe, led
He
this
got
one.
number one with 13%. Um, the interesting thing that people are talking about on this one is that Jaw is tied for second. And even Jaw tweeted, like, respectfully, why am I on this? It's like, what's he breaking out from?
Break out of jail.
Break out of being a bad boy and being hurt. Like, he's already a superstar player. I don't know. So Jaw, Mobley, and Wimby got 10% each. And then Paulo, Cade, and Brandon Miller got 7% each. And then one vote each. LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, Derek Lively, Tyrese Maxey, Trey Murphy, Keegan Murray, Andrew Nimhard, Shingun, Cam Thomas, Amin Thompson, Osar Thompson. Crazy compilation of players there. But
And they only have one player that they could pick, meaning the guy that picked picked Shengun, and that's it.
yes. Yeah, so that one was all over the place because J-Dub was number one, but he only had 13% of the vote. So that was four votes, I guess. Okay, who's the best point guard in the NBA? And with these, like, There's a lot of guys that are on like multiple positions because I don't think they like gave them options. It was just like kind of write in whoever you think is a point guard. But
Yeah, because I did see this one briefly. Like I think is Luca
yeah,
the best.
Luka's number one, Shea two, and then Curry and Brunson. Best shooting guard,
Um, I can't remember who was on the top of this one. Let's see. I know because I think Shea's number two on this one, right?
he's third.
Oh, third. There's Jalen Brown on here.
You got one vote.
Oh, Booker.
Booker's second.
Hmm. Did they go Luca again?
Luka's fifth.
Um.
Anthony Edwards.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
wasn't even, mine was not going there.
So Ant, D Book, Shea, Steph, Luka, and Jalen Brown and Derek White. But Shea got 20% of the shooting guard vote, 30% of the point guard vote. So I guess 50% of GMs think he's the best at his position, whatever position they think it is. But best small forward,
LeBron,
LeBron tied for second.
KD,
AD tied for second.
um, Tatum.
Tatum, 47% of the vote. And then tied for second is KD, LeBron, and Luca. Luca got point guard, shooting guard, and small forward votes.
Jeez.
I just I want to ask those GMs like if Luca's a small forward, who's the point guard and shooting guard? Are they saying like now that Kyrie and Clay are on the team, that makes Luca a
Yeah.
small forward, I guess. Like what about last year? I don't know, but
Right.
maybe they're saying he's a small forward now that Clay and whatever. And then Jalen Brown got a vote too. But best power forward,
Giannis.
Giannis 77% of votes. And then KD second, and then AD, Draymond, Sabonis, Tatum, and Wemby each got a vote.
Draymond getting a vote for being the best power forward in the league is wild.
Yeah, that was probably Mr. Dunleavy over in
Yes.
State. Who's the best center?
Jokic.
87% of the
Wow. And then Embiid's got to be on there.
Embiid and Wemby. All right.
Gosh, I also think kind of voting for Wemby right now being better than Jokic and Embiid is something too. I don't necessarily think right now he is.
Yeah. He just got one vote. That was probably San Antonio. Um, oh, and then there's this one that says highest percentage of total votes on position questions. It just gives the top five. Um,
It's got to be Giannis,
Giannis is second,
Jokic.
first, yeah. And then Luka, Shea, and Tatum. So it says Shea got 10% of the total votes.
Okay.
All right. With now this one's off-season moves. Which team made the best overall moves this offseason?
Thunder,
Under number one, 37% of the vote. And then Sixers, Knicks, Nets, Magic, Kings.
the Nets.
I guess the Nets just embracing the tank is the best thing they could have done. And getting their picks back was pretty good, but
Wait, what are some of those other teams you said?
Thunder, Sixers, Knicks, Nets, Magic, Kings.
Sixers, Knicks are very fair. Like those are great. And then you said Magic.
Nets, Magic, Kings.
Magic being the best offseason.
What, they just got KCP and
ACT.
Tristan de Silva?
I mean, whoever voted that did not pay attention to the offseason.
You would think GMs would pay attention to the offseason.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy was not with it. Like I can think of 20 teams that have a better offseason than the Magic.
Yeah. Okay. Which one player acquisition will make the biggest impact?
Paul George, 76ers.
Yes, 60% of the vote. And then tied for second were the Knicks, McHale and Towns. Then fourth was Caruso. And then DeRozan and Hartenstein got one vote each.
I also want to say something. I think if I was a GM voting for who had the best offseason, I don't even think I'd vote for the Thunder. I think I would vote for the Knicks.
Yeah, you can go either way. I don't know.
Like, not only did they get Towns and Bridges, they also got Brunson to take a pay cut and re-signed OG Anunoby. Like, that's awesome. They lost Hartenstein, but wow, that's a great offseason. Now the Thunder had a great one too, and the Thunder didn't really lose anything, which is I think another big thing. Like, obviously we traded away Josh Giddey, but the net positive on that team from those two moves it's crazy. So anyway, we can keep going.
I also think it's kind of cool that two people picked Caruso and one person picked Hartenstein for one player acquisition that'll make the biggest impact. Like picking them over PG, Bridges, Towns. Like that's kind of crazy. But
Yeah, that is.
uh, okay, what was the most underrated player acquisition?
I gotta think about what GMs are thinking is underrated. I'm gonna go KCP to the Magic.
Number two,
Russell Westbrook to the Nuggets.
no votes.
Underrated.
Underrated.
Give me Caruso to the Thunder.
Number one, 23% of the vote. And then Hartenstein was third, tied with Tyus Jones. Klay Thompson fifth, Chris Paul sixth, and then one vote each for Kyle Anderson to the Warriors, DiVincenzo, Giddey, Caleb Martin, and Gary Trent Jr. Okay.
You got to be kidding me with some of Kyle Anderson. Okay, I think it's all
I
to
knew
do.
you weren't gonna like them.
I think it all has to do with uh people's mindset of underrated. Like, so maybe they're thinking about like all of those ones that were above the Kyle Anderson acquisition. They're like, oh no, those have been talked about a lot. Like Kyle Anderson's like the first under the radar thing. So
Right.
I,
Okay. Which team will be most improved in 2024-25?
Grizzlies,
67% of the vote. With that, it's like, duh.
yeah,
And then Spurs, Sixers, um,
maybe Rockets,
one vote each for the Pistons, Rockets, Magic, and Suns.
Pistons. That's a reach.
I mean, I guess maybe they're just thinking who was the worst team.
Right. Yeah. There's only one way to go from for the Pistons.
They have they have the biggest room to grow.
Yeah. That's for
Um, what was the most surprising move of the offseason?
probably Timberwolves trading Towns.
Yes, number one, 27% of the vote. And then PG to Philly, DeMar to the Kings, McHale to the Knicks. Number five is Risa Shea going number one. Um, and then the other move, these got one vote each. Avdia to the Blazers, Jones to and Tyus Jones to the Suns, Caleb Martin to the Sixers, DeJounte to the Pelicans, and Klay Thompson to Dallas. Why is no one talking about DeJounte as like a impactful or underrated acquisition?
Oh my gosh. This GM survey is so funny because I just want to get in the mind of the one GM that goes, "Oh man, the most surprising move of the offseason. Probably Denny Avdia to the Blazers."
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, I didn't even see this. Last year they voted the Thunder would be most improved. I guess they were right.
That's pretty awesome for them voting us to finish 10th.
All right, next up is rookies and international. Who will win the rookie of the year?
Zach Edey.
Number two,
Ricochet,
No votes.
Alex Sarr,
One vote.
Reed Shepherd,
Yes, 50% said Reed Shepherd. And then Edie Castle, and then one vote each for Ron Holland and Alex Sarr. Same amount of people think Reed Shepherd will win as they thought would win last year.
hmm,
All right, which rookie will be the best player in 5 years?
um, Ron Holland,
One vote.
Alex Sarr,
He's fourth, tied for fourth.
Ricochet.
Ricochet's third.
I'm going in order.
We'll keep going.
Shepherd,
Yes, 43% said Shepherd. And then Castle, Ricochet, and then a tie between Alex Sarr and Bob Carrington. And then one vote each for Buzelis, Klingen, Holland, and Connect. This says 5 years ago they said Zion, which of course they're going to say Zion, but
yeah.
I'm probably right. Or Ja. Okay. Which rookie was the biggest steal at where he was selected in the draft? Now, six players tied for first.
Connect has to be one of them.
He's one of the six.
Topich,
One of the six.
um, Buzelis,
He is seventh place, which is technically like right after these six. So he got 7% of the vote. These guys got 10%.
Bob Carrington.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Uh, Give me Steph Castle.
No votes.
Yeah. Oh, Dillingham?
No votes.
Tijon Ceylon.
No votes.
Um,
You may just tell you these.
yeah, I'm never gonna guess that.
Okay, so you got Topich, Connect, and Bub. The other three that were tied for first at 10% were Devin Carter at 13, Johnny Furphy at 35, and Terrence Shannon Jr. at 27. And then the guys tied for seventh at 7% were Buzelis and Klingen. One vote each for these guys. Cam Christie at 46, Isaiah Collier at 29, Zach Edey at 9, Kyle Filipowski at 32, Jared McCain at 16, Baylor Shireman at 30, Reed Shepard at 3, and Cody Williams at 10.
You
Sheesh.
know, if this GM survey would have been a week later, after watching some of these preseason games, they might think Dylan Jones could be a steal from where he was picked. So,
Or AJ Mitchell.
yeah, or AJ Mitchell for sure.
I just I remember on draft night everyone was like, "Whoa, Zach Edey at 9?" And now they're like, "Oh, yeah, he's the biggest steal." Or one guy said that, I guess. Also, who's saying Reed Shepard's the biggest steal at 3? I guess all these people think he's going to be the best player. So,
Yeah.
who's the best international player in the NBA?
Jokic.
Yep. Number one at 87%. Um, Luca was second and Wemby was third.
That is kind of a fun thing because, you know, a lot of the best players in the NBA right now are international. So it's a really exciting time for the NBA. Um,
I'm just like, what one guy said Wemby over Jokic, Luca, and Giannis already?
Probably the same guy that said that Wemby was the best center in the league.
Probably. That's just crazy. Okay. Who's the best international player not in the NBA?
Um, Give me Poku.
No.
Um,
You want a hint? This guy
yeah.
was in the NBA last year for 1 year. He was like winning EuroLeague MVPs and then getting,
Oh, Sasha Vezinkov.
yes, 30% said him, and then and Mirotic.
That was a heck of a pull.
Yeah, nice. So,
Sasha Vezinkov.
Third was Eddie Tavares. Fun fact about Eddie Tavares. The OSU basketball team went to Spain 2 years ago to play against some teams over there. They played the Cape Verde national team. Eddie Tavares destroyed them because he's a grown man. Like he's 37 foot playing against these little college guys. It was it was bad. But and then Nolan Traore, who's supposed to be a top pick in next year's draft. And then Zanan Musa and Jetty Osman got some love. And then Boban got a vote. And
Whoa, Chetty Osman's not in the league anymore?
I guess not.
Jeez.
And then another guy I've never heard of got a vote. Okay. Who is the best defensive player in the NBA?
Wemby.
NBA 40%. And then Bam, Gobert, and Drew Holiday were tied for second. Giannis, AD, and Herb were tied for fifth. Caruso got a vote. McDaniels got a vote. Marcus Smart got a vote. Okay.
No
This is
complaints about it.
says last year Giannis got 40% of the vote, and this year he got 7. That's crazy. Okay. Who's the best perimeter defender in the NBA?
Dort.
Dort at fourth.
Caruso?
Second.
That's exciting. Drew Holiday.
Yes, 43%. And then Caruso, Herb, Lou, and then one vote each for OG, Jaden McDaniels, Marcus Smart, Derek White.
No complaints.
That's cool that Caruso and Dort are top 4. All right, who's the best interior defender in the NBA?
Wemby.
Wemby 40%.
Bam. Gobert.
Wemby, Gobert, AD, Bam. Then
Solid.
Giannis and Jaren. Okay. Most versatile defender in the NBA.
Wemby.
It's tied for second.
AD.
No votes.
Give me Caruso on this.
You got one vote.
Dort.
One vote.
Like, what are they talking about? Versatile. Did I say AD?
He's still not on here.
Oh, Jaren Jackson, Marcus Smart,
Mark, no,
Drew
neither.
Holiday,
Tied for fifth.
Alex Dukas.
Okay, Giannis is number one. And then OG and Wemby are tied for second. Then Bam at fourth. Tied for fifth are Drew Holiday, Jonathan Isaac, Herb Jones, Jaden McDaniels. Then one vote each for Caruso, Dort, Aaron Gordon, Mobley, Marcus Smart, and J-Dub.
Wow.
Yeah.
The most versatile defender in the league. As a Thunder fan, uh, I don't think Jadab's the most versatile defensive player in the entire league, but
Well,
he's a great.
someone disagrees. All right, who's the best defensive team in the NBA?
The funny thing about that is, yes, somebody disagrees, and somebody who knows way more about basketball than I do disagrees. So that's pretty good for Jado. What's the next question?
Best defensive team.
Thunder.
Third.
Celtics?
Yep, 57%. And then second was the Wolves. All right.
Uh, okay. Maybe they're talking about 4 years ago.
Maybe. Well, we'll prove them wrong. All right. Who's the best head coach?
Oh, I did see this one. Spolstra, Daignault. Um, Spolstra, Daignault. I can't remember who's third.
Steve Kerr. And then Budenholzer and Chris Finch each got one vote.
Hmm.
Budenholzer coming off his year not coaching.
And Chris Finch coming off of a career-ending injury that he's coming back from. So,
Which head coach is the best manager slash motivator of people?
Spolstra.
Spolstra. Then Steve Kerr, Joe Mazzulla, Pop, Doc Rivers, Jason Kidd. Mark got a vote. Mike Malone got a vote. Tom Thibodeau got a vote. All right. Which head coach makes the best in-game adjustments?
These are all questions that I just don't think should be part of the survey. Best adjustments. Give me Spolstra.
Second.
Steve
Tyron
Kerr.
Tyron Lue's first. And then Spolstra, Daignault's third. Tied for fourth are Carlisle, Taylor Jenkins, and Nick Nurse, and then one vote each for Chris Finch, Will Hardy, and Mike Malone. Okay.
When when I think in-game adjustments, I think Taylor Jenkins.
Like, how are they even like deciding this? I don't know. But
That's crazy.
what head coach runs the best offense?
Steve Kerr,
Fourth.
Spolstra,
One vote. Think
Daignault.
one vote. Think like offensive team.
Oh, Rick Carlisle.
Yes, 47%. Then Joe Mazzulla, Chris Finch, Steve Kerr, and then one vote each for Mark, Mike Malone, Nick Nurse, Spolstra. All right, which head coach has the best defensive schemes?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with old Boston Celtics guy.
Joe Mazzulla, fourth.
Um, Daignault,
Fifth.
Spolstra.
Yes, 23%. Then Chris Finch and Tibbs were tied for second. Then Mazzulla, Mark, Jamal Mosley, Ime Adoka. All right. Also, the crazy thing about this, I don't think Spolster's ever won on Coach of the Year.
Wow, that is pretty wild.
Okay, what new or relocated head coach will make the biggest impact on his new team?
Give me Coach Lee for the Hornets.
Fourth.
Geez, there's a lot of new coaches then. Trying to think of some new coaches. Um,
Someone said this guy was the best coach.
Budenholzer for the Sun.
Budenholzer at 40%, and then Kenny Atkinson and JB Bickerstaff, Charles Lee, Jordy Fernandez, JJ Redick.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking JJ Redick. Where does Bickerstaff coach now?
Detroit.
Oh, awesome.
Only one way to go for them.
Yeah.
Who's the best assistant coach in the NBA?
Dave Bliss.
No, no votes.
Oh. Mo Cheeks.
No votes.
Wow. Um, uh, Brett Brown.
No, I'm just gonna tell you. Sam Cassell for the Celtics and Micah Nori for the Timberwolves tied for first.
Oh, big Mike and Nori guy stepped in
Thoughts?
after the injury and was pretty good coach for them in the playoffs. Very funny. Big Mike Nori fan.
Me too. I'm
You
not
know,
gonna read all these other names, but
you know who also deserves some coaching credit that wasn't really on that list much, or if they were, I didn't hear you.
who?
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. You're right. I don't think he was on anything.
I'm
He
a
won
big
Coach
Mike
of the Year
Brown
like
fan.
3 years.
Mike Brown is actually my second favorite coach in the league behind Mark. I think Mike does a great job. He did a great job with Team Nigeria. He coached Team Nigeria to beat Team USA a few years back.
All right. Shout out Mike Brown.
You're watching Mike, big fan.
Okay. What active player will make the best head coach someday?
LeBron.
No votes.
Whoa. What active player would make a great coach? Oh, Mike Conley,
Third.
CJ McCollum,
No.
Steph Curry.
No.
Don't tell me on this one because I kind of like this one. I'm just putting myself in
You get this.
the GM's shoes. You think I'll get this?
Yeah. If you think
Give me one hint. Is this player like are these players kind of older or brand?
old.
Okay. Um, give me like give me a Taj Gibson.
No.
Give me Are these players good?
Some of them.
Yeah, I think uh give me a little bit of guidance here.
I'll just tell you. It's Chris Paul.
Oh, yeah, I could have gotten there. I
Yeah.
wasn't really using my thinker on that one.
Chris Paul, Garrett Temple, Mike Conley, TJ McConnell, Fred Van Vliet, Harrison Barnes, Bradley Beal, Jalen Brunson, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Tyus Jones, Kyle Lowry.
Garrett Temple?
20% say Garrett Temple. I
Oh
think
my
he's like
gosh.
he has some standing with like the Players Association, I think. So maybe he's a good leader or something like that.
So it's definitely probably an inside thing that I don't know about.
Yeah. Okay, what team's the most fun to watch?
Thunder,
Second,
Celtics?
fifth,
Oh wow. I have a lot of fun watching Timberwolves.
no votes.
I have a lot of fun watching the Nuggets.
Third,
76ers?
no.
Wow. I have a lot of fun watching the Pacers.
Number one, 37%. Then Thunder, Nuggets, Warriors, Celtics, Mavericks, Lakers, Suns. What team has the best home court advantage?
Um, New York,
Third,
Golden State,
no.
Boston,
Third, tied for third.
Thunder?
Second,
Wow. That's awesome. Mavs,
nope.
uh, Timberwolves.
No.
Thought they had a good home court in the playoffs. Give me
Think
the
altitude.
Kings. Oh, I was thinking light the beam. I'll go Nuggets.
Nuggets, 47%. Then Thunder, Celtics, Knicks, Jazz, Kings.
Oh, so we're talking best home court advantage in general. So the altitude does play a factor.
Yeah, I would assume so. Which team will have the league's most efficient offense this season?
Thunder,
Third,
Pacers,
second.
Celtics.
Yes, 53%. So Celtics, Pacers, Thunder, Mavericks, Knicks, Suns.
Okay.
Which, which team's level of success this season is toughest to predict?
Grizzlies.
One vote.
Whoa. I thought that was a pretty gimme one. 76ers,
Tied for fifth?
Lakers.
Yes, number one. Lakers, Rockets, Pelicans, Suns, Mavericks, Sixers, Nuggets, Pacers, Clippers, Grizzlies, Heat, Bucks, Timberwolves, Knicks, Magic, Kings.
Lots of votes there.
Okay, which team has the most promising young core?
Thunder.
Yes, 60%. Then the Magic, Rockets, Spurs, Pistons. Who voted for the Pistons?
Dude, this is crazy.
Which player is the most athletic?
Wimby.
No,
Oh. Uh, Zach Levine.
no,
Giannis.
no. Second. Giannis is second.
Um, oh, Obi Toppin.
No. He's a superstar. This guy's a superstar.
Oh, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. Anthony Edwards, 45%. Giannis, Amen, Ja, Asar, Bam, Jalen Green, Kuminga, Zion.
Yeah.
Who's the best pure shooter?
Steph.
87%. Then one vote each for KD, Trey Murphy, Klay Thompson, and Luke Kennard.
No comment. Next question.
Which player is the fastest with the ball?
Ja.
Second?
Russ.
No.
Uh, Fastest with the ball. Oh, De'Aaron Fox.
Fox 52%. Then Ja, Maxi, Kyrie. Which player is the best at moving without the ball?
Play
Clay got one vote.
moving without the ball. Give me KD.
No,
Give me Tyler Hero.
no.
Um, wow. Who?
Steph, 83% of the vote.
That's pretty good.
One vote each for Bain, Mikal, CJ, Clay, and Duncan Robbins. Which player is the best passer?
Luca?
Second.
Jokic?
Yes, 70%. Jokic, Luka, Halliburton, Giddy.
Okay.
Which player is the best leader?
Chris Paul?
Tied for fourth.
Best leader? LeBron?
Tied for second.
Uh, Steph.
Steph, yes, 33%. Then Brunson, LeBron, Drew Holiday, Jokic, Chris Paul.
I wouldn't really agree with LeBron as the best leader. Um,
He led the Olympic team pretty well.
I guess I'm more talking about just like what he does as far as like, gets mad, leaves the game early.
Yeah.
Uh, but I guess that's why he came in second.
Who's the most versatile player in the NBA?
Here we go, versatile again.
I don't
Um,
agree. I don't agree with this. Well, I don't know, but
Versatile player in the NBA. Let's go Kevin Durant.
tied for third.
Give me Luca.
No.
Give me LeBron.
Second.
He's very versatile. You don't agree with this.
No, just because he can't shoot very well.
Give me Zion.
No.
Um, Ja.
No.
Hmm. Is this guy really good?
Yes.
Giannis.
Yes. Giannis, 30%. Then LeBron, KD, Tatum, Wemby, Mikal, Bam, Drew Holiday, Amen Thompson.
This
Oh,
GM survey, man.
it's just it's great. Okay, which player has the best basketball IQ?
Chris Paul.
Tied for third.
Jokic.
Yes, 53%. Then LeBron, Luca, Chris Paul, Halliburton. Okay. Which player would you want taking a shot with the game on the line?
Curry.
Curry, 40%. Then KD, Luca, Jokic, Dame, DeMar, Shea, Kyrie, Jamal. What rule most needs to change?
I'm gonna go coach's challenge being like a limit of two.
No, I'll just tell you. Number one was roster construction, apron rules slash trade math too restrictive or should be indexed to team's market. That's a little silly if you ask me. I don't think trade math should depend on your market. I think it should be an even playing field for everybody.
Yeah.
Um, Number two was schedule, specifically fewer games and or back-to-backs. Tied for third was game flow, reduce stoppages and replay reviews, or change to G League one free throw rule.
No.
Also, playoff format, seed 1 to 16, or let top seeds choose opponents.
No.
Fifth was free agency before the draft
Sure.
and return to a 1 day draft.
Yes. Yes. I am for that. Whoever put that. How many votes did that have?
Two.
Two. I'm with those two guys.
And then one vote each for these. Add a third round to the draft.
No.
Uh, Draft lottery format. Expand all-star rosters to 15 from 12. I like that.
That's the most pressing thing on somebody's mind. I think that that's funny. Even though
Uh, yeah. Elam ending. I guess for overtime games.
No,
Fouls on lobs should be shooting fouls. Are they not shooting fouls? I don't know.
they're not. The only reason that we got free throws tonight, I think, was because we were the bonus. But yeah, if you're like catching a lob and get fouled, it's just side out.
No. And then playoff eligibility for two-way players and remove divisions.
Oh my gosh.
I
That
mean, removing divisions would be fine. They don't really serve a purpose. It's just like it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't really matter if you remove them or not. But all right, that concludes the GM survey. That was a whirlwind, but that was fun to go over.
wow. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed hearing that last segment about what they want to change. Like hearing that from GMs is really interesting.
Right. Okay.
The
A lot of
worst
Thunder Love on there. That was fun.
the worst proposal there of all of them, I think, is the Elam ending in overtime.
Yeah, I think that had one vote.
Yeah, that's by far, I think, the worst one. But also kind of an argument that I like for free agency being before the draft is knowing more of your team needs the like when you're going to draft. Um,
Yeah.
that helps a little bit. So I kind of liked that one too.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. Cool to see more Thunder representation on there than in the past. Um, and we can do our player rankings now here. Sharing my screen here. As always, if you're new here, at the end of each episode, we rank Thunder players of the past on these five categories: stats, impact on winning, personal opinion, longevity, and culture on a scale of 1 to 10, and then average them together for a composite score for each player out of 10. And then we will have a ranking of best to worst Thunder players of all time. And we're almost done. We only have a few more times doing this, but today we are ranking these five players. Um, they all played for our team in the 2011-2012 season, the year we made the finals. But for all these guys, they didn't play any later than that. That was all their last years with us. So Keaton has gone somewhere, so I guess I can kick us off. The first guy is Lazar Hayward. He only played that year, 26 games, a little over 5 minutes a game, 1.4 points, half a rebound. Didn't shoot very good. 34% from the field, 28 from three. Those are not good stats, so I'll give him a one. Impact on winning. Seems like a guy that didn't play very much, and when he did, didn't play very good, so I'll give him another one. Personal opinion. I don't remember a lot about him. I was very young at this time. Not very young. I was like 10-ish. But I don't have a huge opinion either way. I'll give him a 3.5. Longevity, he was not with us very long. So I'll give him a 1.5. Culture, I don't know. I'll give him a 4. So he has a 2.2.
Where I was at was I remembered that I have some old Panini Thunder basketball cards here, and I thought that it might be from this season of players, but I think it's going to be the next one, because the only person I have is James Harden's rookie card on here, but no Lazar Hayward or Ryan Reed or any of these guys. Anyway, Ryan Reed, he played one season, 5 games. He played a total of 17 minutes. He wasn't really out there very much. One thing I will give him credit for in his 17 NBA or minutes with us, he shot 80%. It's pretty good. So
Four or
he,
five.
yeah, he's definitely one of the more efficient Thunder players of all time. However, very low volume. So we're gonna give him a 1, and impact on winning we'll give him a 1. Personal opinion we'll give him a 4. Longevity we'll give him a, I mean, what's that gotta be? Like a point 0.5? What's 5?
Um,
What do we give Grant Jarrett?
yeah, 0.5.
0.5. Culture, give him a 4.
2.1 for Ryan Reed. All right, Colt Aldrich is next. He played 2 years, 44 games, 7 minutes, almost 2 points, almost two rebounds, half a block, 52% from the field. Um, he was more serviceable than these other guys, but he also wasn't a consistent part of the rotation. But it was nice to have a big guy like him off the bench. I know we had him when he was real young, so we thought he could become something, but then he went on to have a decent NBA career. But with us, he wasn't very good, so I'll give him a 1.5 on stats and impact on winning. Personal opinion, I'll give him a little boost because I remember I had a calendar of the Thunder team from this specific season, and so I got to look at Cole Aldrich on my wall for an entire month. So um, I always remembered him just because of that. So I'll give him a 5. Longevity, he was with us for 2 seasons, more than these other guys. So Um, based off of what we've given guys of the past, I'll give him a 3. Culture, don't really know. I'll give him a 4, 4.5. So that gives him a 3.1.
Next up, we've got Daquan Cook, who played a perfect 100 games in his 2 seasons with us. He averaged 5.5 points, 1.9 rebounds, and zero point 0.4 assists, and shot the ball not too shabby, I guess. 37% from three, not bad. Um, those stats are kind of raw. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong column. Can we scroll up a little bit? What are these stats? Maybe like a, okay, like a Urson, or okay.
Like like this range.
Yeah, let's give him a 3.
I think he was better than that.
Yeah, we can give him a 3.5.
He shot good. He was our backup point guard, and I remember him not being bad.
Let's give him a 3 impact on winning.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Am
You
I
were
tanking? Am I tanking Daquan Cook?
one was a consistent part of our rotation this year when we made the finals, and he was our backup point guard, and I I,
Um,
I remember him being pretty serviceable, whether these stats say it or not. I mean, he didn't.
right. Okay, we can up it to a 5.
Okay.
My personal opinion of Daquan, I'm clearly not rating him as high as I should have. But let's give him a 6. I really like Daquan. Overall, 100 games, longevity. Can we go up to somebody that has comparable?
Yeah, maybe like a Nader range, 4.5.
What's Roby?
Where is he?
40. Yeah, right there.
Four, probably 4 or 4.5.
Let's give him a 4.5. Culture, Daquan, great guy, 6.
All right, Daquan gets a 5 overall. Then our last guy for today, the most notable one, is James Harden. He played 3 years for us, 220 games, almost 27 minutes, almost 13 points, 3.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, a steal, 44 from the field, 37 from three. Obviously, James Harden was great. He became more great later. Um, he definitely was not in his prime during the time he was with the Thunder. Because after we traded him away, he went on to win an MVP and become a superstar and NBA 75 type of guy. But for us, he helped us make the finals. He was a sixth man of the year. He was a very promising young player. It just got down to the point where we had to decide who we wanted to pay because we couldn't pay everybody. And so these stats, I mean, Obviously, these stats aren't what they were later in his career, but they're still solid. And obviously, he was a big part of our team. I think I'll give him a 7. Impact on winning, I'll give him a 7.5. Personal opinion, um, I really liked James Harden when he was here. My view on him now, I don't dislike him. I just don't have like the fond, um, like memories of him as a player with the Thunder. I don't love him as much as other Thunder legends, I'd say. But I still really appreciate him as a Thunder player and as a really good NBA player. Um, it's just I wish we could have worked it out to where he could have spent a lot of his career with us. But I still really like him. I'll give him a 7.5. Longevity, I mean, he still played a decent amount with us. Over 3 seasons, over 200 games. So what would that be? I'll give him like a 7.5. Or no, 7. Culture. I mean, I don't think there was anything wrong with James Harden during his time with the Thunder, culture wise. He was one of the core pieces of a really good team. So I'll give him a 7.5 for culture.
Can I jump in here just a little bit? Can we give a little bit of a bump on the impact on winning? I feel like
Yeah.
Harden in his time impacted winning. And see, when you scrolled up a little bit, I saw that we gave guys like Tabo and Robertson an 8, and I feel like
Oh,
Harden,
we can give him an 8.5.
I think he gave a pretty decent contribution.
Yeah, we'll give him an 8.5. Impact on winning, 7.5 on stats. You think all these ratings look good now?
Oh yeah.
Average score 7.6 for Harden. So that wraps up today's guys. Um, we'll put them in here with everyone else we've ranked so far. See how they stack up. Um, all right, Harden's here at 14. Ooh, 1 second, let me fix my numbers. 14 for Harden, between Robertson and Cephalosha. Um, Daquan Cook at 42, between George Hill and JRE. Cole Aldridge at 90, between Gordon Hayward and Georgios Kalaitzakis. And then Lazar Hayward's after Gabby Deck, before Justin Robinson, and then Ryan Reed, followed by Melvin Frazier down there at 112, 111 and 113. So we only have 3 more episodes where we're going to be ranking guys, and then we'll have our full list. Um, so that's exciting. A good bunch there. Got to talk about um, some of those guys that were on that finals team, the only finals team in Thunder history. So, um, hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, maybe leave a like, interact with us on Twitter, follow us, like our stuff, give some comments, whatever. Comment on this podcast. We'd love to hear some feedback. Thank you guys for supporting. It was fun to see the Thunder play tonight, be at the Thunder game, talk about the game. So, yeah, we'll see you next time. Um, Keaton, you got any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just remembered, give a player a quick your quick star of the night. Who gets your star for the game?
Star from tonight has got to be um Shay.
Shea, I'm giving mine to Shea as well. He seemed to score at will and he got a lot of assists. So great job tonight, Shea. Drop our
Just for highlights.
yeah, if you're watching this. If if you're still listening out there, viewers, leave us in the comments who got your player of the game tonight. It could be anybody that you thought performed awesome. So yeah, we're kind of just starting this whole thing up still. We're kind of in the new process of making new friends and getting content out there on and being active on Twitter and social media and everything. So we really appreciate any of the interactions that we have with you guys. So thank you for watching again. That's all I got.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.